Settle down. Hello, welcome to Knox Makers. This is Tuesday. Every Tuesday we gather together for social time and workshop time and show off the projects that we're working on. So we have a sign-up list for that, so we're going to go ahead and get started on it. First up, we're going to do Sue, who is showing off Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. So not everyone came to the spook show. It was fantastic. You guys missed out. There's only, 362 days before the next one? Right? So thanks to Joe, I was able to make the mask. It was quite the process. I'd looked at the process a little ahead of time on YouTube, and I was a little intimidated. I tend to be kind of claustrophobic, and the YouTube videos talked about putting the foil on your face and then rolling out. I was really glad Joe's class had the foil and pulled in, because I was able to breathe until the last minute before putting that piece on. The inspiration was from the grandson. When we asked him what he wanted Grammy and Papa to be, he said, pumpkins. So he didn't say it had to be a nice looking pumpkin. So, I also thought this would fit my artistic ability of painting, which is not real good. I know we've got a lot better painters in here. So it was a lot of fun doing it. Highly recommend, Joe, if you put the class on next year, I'll be doing it again. With this design, to be critical, I think I would have made a larger mouth opening. It tends to get a little hot and humid, so it's not comfortable to wear for an extended piece of time. And I'd make the eye holes a little bigger because I definitely have to turn to see any other things coming up after me. But to make it complete, I also wanted to do the hat, which is simply burlap. When I got the burlap, it was very stiff, and someone said, throw it in the dryer with some wet towels. That worked wonderfully. And then I just got some natural jute and did it up. That's that. So that's my costume. For the grandson, I didn't do step-by-step this year as I have done in prior years. So you'll just get to see the whole costume. We have the bodysuit and the cape. When we asked him what he wanted to be, he said a ghost, but he wasn't looking at the ghost pattern, so we've now turned it into the ghost witch. Along with it comes the hat, which it's a hood to keep him warm. So the two pieces together. Now this presented its own challenge. As you can see, the cuffs are fairly small. That's 7 inches. We'll divide that in half because you're going in a circle, right? Now, try and get it in the sewing machine to sew. Yes. You're putting this inside here along with the shank of the sewing machine, right? I crawled about a 1/4 inch at a time getting around here between all the pins, but I made it. It was good. It will work well. He will enjoy himself. Just wanted to say happy Halloween, everyone. Oh.
And where's Jerry's costume?
I got his at Walmart. Yeah, it's a t-shirt with a pumpkin face on it. A little more low-key, but still a pumpkin, as was requested. Sorry, dear, I had to tell. We did talk about using a paper plate, right, and cutting out the pumpkin eyes, but yeah. We'll see. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sue. That's really great. Next up is Andrew showing off a print shop bathroom. No demonstrations, please.
Billy asked me to take a look at the audio here. It appears that there's one, so I don't know which one on the right side is.
Never mind.
Okay.
Go on, Bill, look at it.
This is a picture adventure. So, as some of you might know, my wife and I purchased a commercial property 2 years ago now. That was built in the 40s and I think was cleaned in the 50s, and that's about it. So, in the back of the commercial property was this bathroom, which was the smallest bathroom I've ever seen. You would actually bump your knees into the side there if you were willing to sit on that gross ass toilet. So this is the outside corner of that bathroom there. So it was built inside of its own room, basically, in the corner there. So what I ended up doing was replacing the entire thing with this right here. We added a sink outside. I moved the water heater down to the crawl space. We moved the walls out in both directions so that you can now sit down without hitting your knees. We acquired this darkroom door at an auction for like next to nothing. So we always thought it would be kind of an interesting thing to like put it in here. So the building itself is artist studios, and so I thought it was at least on brand or whatever. It was kind of a novel thing. So anyway, so I built the opening so that it would facilitate that darkroom door there. So this is the darkroom door. This is what it looks like inside of the darkroom, and then opens into the new bathroom, which. If you are interested in the play-by-play, you can check out the Home Improvement channel on Mattermost. But it involved removing the flooring and repairing the subfloor that was rotted out because, surprise, surprise, that old gross toilet leaked. Anyway, that's it for bathroom stuff. But while I'm up here, I wanted to invite everybody on Friday from 6 to 10 to come to our print shop grand opening. So we have like I said, it's a mixed-use building with studios in the front, a gallery in the middle area, and then in the back is an artist print shop for, I don't know, that kind of thing. We've added we've added some other features that I should take pictures of and show you, but I didn't. So you're gonna have to see it to believe it, or whatever. So anyway, 6 to 10, there'll be drinks, and I think we're gonna do some printing demos as well, and maybe even like, I don't know, bring a shirt and we'll print something stupid on it for you, or that kind of thing. So, if you're interested in that, I'll post in Mattermost the address so you guys know where it's at. Yeah. Great. I'm going to be here for an amount of time. Yeah. Intaglio, relief, screen printing. We're in the future probably going to add etching, so you can do that kind of stuff. There's a powder proofing press as well. We don't have a lot of letterpress, so if you want to bring your own type and do that kind of thing, go for it. But otherwise, yeah, it's primarily those. Yeah, cool. All right, thanks.
You said free drinks. That's open bar, right?
It is until they run out.
Okay.
Come early.
All right. Next up is Jennifer, who's going to show off an art update.
Anyone was here last week that saw canvases? See them again. Okay, updates. I have painted a new one, added to this one. It's not done, they're both still works in progress. I have a tendency to paint multiple canvases at a time as one is, let me come over and talk. As one is drying, I'll start painting on another one. These are both 3 feet by 3 feet. Today I stretched a new canvas It is 3 foot by 4 foot. I haven't stretched canvases ever. This was the first canvas I stretched ever. It's a little loose. This one got tighter, and then you can hear they get tighter. You start on one edge, you stretch to this edge, you just staple one edge, then stretch across to this edge, and then you stretch side to side. I don't really plan my paintings. I know that was asked last week. It just kind of comes to me. This one I kind of sketched out what my brain is coming up with. Sorry. Zoom out. So it's a planetoid with another circle. I don't know where it's going actually. So when I'm finished, I'll be finished. So that's how it works. Any questions? Yes. It's cheaper. I have a roll of canvas out there that's 6 yards by 72 inches. So far, I've stretched 3 canvases. When I purchased a canvas, let's see, this was a purchase canvas that I pulled the canvas off of because I didn't like the painting that I did on it. The product I used that I thought was a varnish wasn't, so I didn't like the finished product, so I pulled it off, restretched it. So this is a professional frame with my canvas on it now. But it's cheaper to do it that way, but this frame with the canvas was like $60 some. A roll of canvas was about $70, and the stretcher arms run about $10 to $15 per. So a box of 6 is about $70. So you can do one canvas. So it's a lot cheaper to do it yourself. Yes?
Do you ever gesso over the ones that you don't like and then just paint over that?
I haven't yet, but yes, I can and will eventually, yes. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next up is Joe Pardue going to show Flaming Box.
Now, this was entirely new to me, and if everybody here already knows about this, I apologize. But is this box on fire? It's on fire, right? Does it look like it's on fire from back there? Yeah, well, you can set that thing, and it looks like the box is on fire, but what it is, I'll show the rest of it in a minute. They make these flaming, oh, great. Well, everybody awake? I'm sorry. So they make these lights that you have to turn on a couple of times to get them to there, that do like the flame. You've probably seen these somewhere, okay, but it's 120 volts. And I bought one, I'm going like, that doesn't need to be 120 volts. It's running off of LEDs. Also, the pictures, when they sell these on Amazon, they lie. This is what they really look like, which is not bad, you know, but they don't look like that. But they all have that kind of picture. So what I did was, anyway, I took a bulb and, oh, I Oh, here are the pieces. I'm going to break something. I took it apart. There's one more thing in here. I took it apart just to see how it works, because that's one of the things I like to do. And it's like down here it converts 120 up here into 5 volts, which I measured. And then it has this guy coiled up inside of it. It's in a circle. And all it needs is 5 volts to run. And this thing will run for days off of this little set of batteries. So although it looks pretty funky straight on, when it's got a little bit of blocking the actual LEDs, it does look like fire. And I think that would just be great in pumpkins, which I should have brought a pumpkin, but I didn't have one. And I wanted to show this tonight because we're getting so close to Halloween. Huh? Excuse me? Oh, I've got it. No, that's, well, okay. How about that? Yeah, see? Thank you. Anyway, it's got the cheaper one, you got to turn it on and off to get the right setting. It also has, it can tell which way is up, and you can flip it over, and it should change, which it didn't. Okay, there it went. It's got a little bit of a detection circuit. This is kind of fun, just taking it apart and looking, seeing how they made this so cheap. That's all. I'm going to pass this around just like it is. By the way, I've got about 4 other different kinds of flaming lights to play with, and but I don't know if I'll have them played with by Halloween, so I'll show those when I can show them. Any questions? Yes.
Could you replace those LEDs with like green and red and yellow?
You can buy them in blue, and you can have what looks like a blue flame, which I guess is supposed to look like a radioactive flame or something. I think they even had some in green. You will not want to replace those LEDs. That's a lot of LEDs, and that's a lot of soldering and everything. But you can buy them, and they're like $11 for 2 lights. So, and if anybody actually wants to buy them, there is one that's like $11 for 1 light, but it's worth it. It's that much better than those. But because it was more expensive, I didn't want to tear into it at first. Was there another question? Yes.
Yeah, there's an Arduino sample code that does the exact same effect on a matrix.
Yeah.
It's way more convincing because you have a higher resolution, and it even I didn't deconstruct the code that much, but you can modify exactly how it reads things and how it expects things. I mean, you get a lot more, I guess, random number generation.
Yeah.
And so it looks a lot more convincing as a result. And because you're using an RGB array, you can get a lot more gradient in there than just the single
Okay.
as well. So,
Right.
if you dig around a little bit, I'm sure you can find it. It's a pretty impressive piece of code because it runs on almost nothing. And it's
Now, what's an Arduino?
never heard of it.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Speaking of Arduino, Ray's up next with Arduino Tiny Bench.
Hey, John, can you help me
Yes.
put one of these 2 monitors, maybe that one on N3?
Okay. Is that 3?
3, yeah. Actually never plugged HDMI into this laptop. Let's see if it works. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, we did both of them.
We'll do both of them? All right. Well, we can do that.
No, it has to be both. It needs to be this one.
Oh, does it? You have to do both at the same time? Okay. Because I got something to show on here too, unfortunately. Maybe I can flip it back and forth. Oops. So this is N2. What did I do?
Yeah, 2. So all.
All All right, it's almost like they eventually taught me what to do. Okay, so it's a little hard to see, but that's good enough. So this is kind of Arduino-esque. It kind of uses some of the Arduino platform, but uses some other stuff as well. And kind of with the theme of the classes Joe's been putting on, this fits in pretty nicely. So this is a platform I've kind of developed over a number of years, and just doing various kinds of Arduino and other analog work. So I often will have some kind of analog circuitry of some sort with the microcontroller board doing a bunch of control of what's going on those analog boards. And throughout that process, I ended up kind of developing kind of this cool little standalone development platform. And what's plugged in here is it's a Teensy 3.2, which is kind of uses a lot of the Arduino environment. Originally, this was an Arduino Nano. I kind of ran out of horsepower on some projects. I sort of upgraded this higher speed Teensy. So I've got basically a Python-based GUI that I can run, and it interfaces with this. And this board gives me a bunch of pretty cool things. I can have my little logic analyzer, and I can come from that logic analyzer and drop just right onto here with kind of the standard cable that comes with that, and run that to the logic analyzer, and I can monitor, say, an I2C bus. Same thing over here with SPI bus. That's over there. I've got a DAC output on here, A to D converters for 3.3 or 5 volts, a dozen GPIOs, and then I can jump off of here onto other daughter boards and stuff, which might have another 10 DACs or a bunch more ADCs or whatever other kind of stuff that I've got. So this is something I've developed over a number of years. I've got probably hundreds of hours into this, and what it turned into is what I call my tiny bench. It lets me sit at my computer, and rather than have stacks of test equipment, sometimes I'd have 5 or 6 multimeters, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 power supplies, and all these things stacked up, monitors and everything with cables running all over the place. It was a complete mess. And now I can take this thing, if I need 8 A to D channels, I just take 2 of these, pop it in here, and I can run my A to Ds wherever I want them run. I can run over, if this is a DAC output on this other board, and run these things anywhere I want. So this is kind of cool. The other cool part of it, so that's the hardware aspect of it. The other thing is, now I do what, three takes, is the actual GUI. So if I can come over here, this is kind of a low-res screen, so it kind of sort of fits on there, but not all of it. And this is running. And so what's cool, the board is powered 5 volts through that Arduino, or through the USB port, and then I can jump her off 3.3 volts, 5 volts, things like that onto this board. That generates minus 3.3, 3.35, minus 5, 15, 18, minus 24, whatever you want. You can code it to kind of generate whatever voltages you want. And I can come in here and do things like run an I2C script. So in doing some debug, trying to figure out how to make some integrated circuit work, you've got this long data sheet, trying to make sense of the commands. I can try all kinds of different scripts and try different incantations and different combinations until I figure out what the heck works. Now I've got that I can go dump into code somewhere if I want to. So this is an example. We'll control a DAC. It'll set the reference voltage and do a bunch of stuff like that. Is what those particular scripts have on there. Do the same thing with SPI, A to D converters, and the onboard DAC. So like here, I could type in a DAC code of 2000. It tells me it's probably about 1.61 volts. I can hit update that DAC, and that is, if I want to plug it into channel 1, I could hook this over to the DAC output on here, and I could just have it even just pull the ADCs, and it'll periodically pull it. And you'll see here, it says, yeah, in fact, 1.62 volts. So it's actually a multi-threaded application. Each of these kind of run in their own threads and kind of do their own thing and not mess up the GUI. So that's kind of cool. Same thing with a bunch of GPIOs at the bottom. So this is sort of like a little mini test bench that lets me do a pretty good amount of stuff just from a laptop, on a bench, sitting on the couch, messing around while I watch a movie without having stacks of equipment I'm carting around as I go. Or I can sit here, right, at the makerspace and have everything code up and kind of run. So this has been a pretty cool project I've worked on for many years. And now that it's all developed, if anyone else saw this kind of thing and said, hey, this looks kind of cool, I have lots of these boards. The components are not that much. It's on here. This thing is the expensive thing at 20 bucks, the Teensy. The other stuff's probably 20 bucks or something like that, so it's not real expensive. So if anyone else is interested in this kind of thing, we've got code, we've got hardware. If you want to build it, let me know. Be happy to help you out. So cool. I don't know, any questions before I start packing this up?
So, could you do something like, will that test something like what we were working on last week in there, that 525 circuit?
It doesn't do the oscilloscope functions. We're using oscilloscope some for that, and this would not sample fast enough for that. So you could maybe do it with some creative thinking, but it'd probably take some creative thinking.
But you could put power in your Arduino and 5 volts to the.
Yes, you could do that, yeah. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Any other questions?
What's your
Yes, sir. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, what's the polling rate on that then?
This is very slow. It's waiting a long time on the PC, actually. I'm polling at 1 second or maybe 2 seconds. You can see the threads popping up oh no, you can't, yeah, you can. About every 2 seconds. You can't run it a half a second or the thread re-enters. So I could probably work to speed something up, but that's about the poll rate it runs at. And the different threads actually kind of not always cooperate well, so there's stuff to kind of prevent them from re-entering and competing against each other. Yeah, Rob, yes, sir.
Is that GUI Python?
It is. It's PyQt. Yeah, which I've never used. Actually, this was all done in Java originally. I've gotten kind of fed up with Java IDEs and trying to make them work. It's gotten to be like I got to where I just stopped even working on code because I didn't want to mess with it. So just a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I kind of picked up Python and started playing with it. Yeah, so it's been pretty nice actually. Has a lot of really nice libraries, as I'm sure you guys know better than me. All right, cool. Thank you. You got it? All right. Thanks.
All right, so if y'all thought that was cool but had no idea what he's talking about, this is a good time to plug Joe's class on Arduinos. That's where you get started. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Next up is Steve, going to show off some birdhouses.
Okay, I'm Steve. I start out with some pieces of wood. If I can get this out of the way for a second. And from that, I turn these. So am I. Here we go. Just a little pastime I have. That, I'll get started making these things. I go in my scrap boxes, and now those probably look more alike to me than they do to you, but a lot of times I have just whatever comes to mind at the time, that's the way I shape it. But anyway, that's what I've been working on this week. Yes, sir.
Can you hold one up so we can see what
It's not doing so. Can you see? Yes.
Are they hollow?
Yes.
So the two pieces, you hollowed it and then glued it together?
Well, when I finish, there'll actually be 5 pieces counting the perch. Now, this one doesn't have a perch on it, but I don't know why I picked up a handful of ones that weren't completely finished, but yes, I will drill this block out. Well, first thing I do is I drill my perch hole and my hole for the birdhouse itself. Then I drill with a Forstner bit a hole here turn it somewhat round right there on the one end. Come back, do the same thing here so that they all fit together. Now they are glued, and I'll use the pen blank to make the finicle and icicle, or finial and icicle. Anyway.
And the Christmas ornament's not really birdhouse.
Yeah. And if you run across,
I heard people asking around, what kind of bird? I was like, an insect was about it.
if you run into someone that says he's building hummingbird houses, I actually make that size also, and hummingbirds do not use them. But they're cute, and a lot of people, anyway, they're popular this time of the year.
What size of a house does a hummingbird use?
Doesn't use a house.
They don't use houses. They'll use a flat area. They'll pick moss or whatever other types of organic material, and they'll have their nest will be on top of something.
No time for house building.
No, no.
Yeah, but you could totally stick like a sack or something that would hold the nectar stuff that they drink, and they would totally go to that.
They'll go up close to one, but they won't use houses.
Oh, I'm not saying to use the house, but to eat,
Oh,
to drink the
yeah.
nectar.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar water.
You could do something like that. You could, but all this wood is finished for interior use. So anyway, any other questions? All right.
Don't forget your glasses.
All right, that's all we have on the list. Did we miss somebody? Anybody else? Going once, going twice? Oh, yes. Okay.
Hey, my friend, I'm Narita. My friend Kat is an artist, and she is teaching a class tonight that I'm going to be streaming out here in the craft area or in here. It starts at 9:30 tonight. She's on the West Coast, but if anyone would like to do a fall road painting tonight, we'll be hanging out doing this starting at 9:30. So it's a little bit late, but I'll be here, so anyone's welcome to hang out.
Cool. You're going to do that painting here? Oh, cool. All right. Anyone else? I thought I saw. Yes, Amy?
Oh, this is tall. Am I allowed to swear? On Saturday, we had our first stitch and chat. So I started on a project for one of my friend's kids. I guess I'll zoom out. So I was making a cat. Is there? Oh, zoom out. I just crocheted this. Started from the top, went down. I was going for like blorb shaped, but also cat. I put a little tail on it and a little butthole, because of course. And she has 2 stepdaughters, so I figured I would make this is not made on Saturday, but I figured I would make a matching dog. So it looks kind of like a set. No butthole in this one, but there is a tail. The ears are the same color, but I made their bodies slightly different. I don't know if it's obvious on camera because it's not that different. This one's more white, this one's a little bit yellowish. So yeah, I made a little matching set. Yeah.
How long have you been crocheting?
Middle school maybe, something like that. Yeah, I only started learning how to design stuff on my own since the pandemic started. As you can imagine, it was a lot of time just sitting around on the couch, so yeah, that's about it.
Very cool. All right. Anybody else? Once, twice? Okay. We have several classes coming up. This Saturday is in laser art class, but it's sold out, suckers, so get it next month. Sunday is a MIG 101, so there's 1 ticket left for it. So if you want to do some welding, make sure and grab that. First one gets it. Also on Sunday's a board meeting. It's super exciting. Members can join and watch. Monday is the Arduino 101 class we mentioned earlier. This will be the third one in that series. Is that correct? And you're planning another series coming up?
There's 8 total.
Okay.
And the first 3 will be finishing up Monday. And if you're motivated, you can probably catch up if you want to sign up for the next group. But they're going to be offered individually, one at a time, one for each chapter in the book. The book's free, and I can point you to it if you're interested.
Yeah. So they're in the middle of the series right now, but if you're motivated, you could catch up and get in it. If not, you'll catch the next one. So the next Tuesday after show and share is a new member onboarding. That is a new thing that is, or newly required for membership. So if you are a member or a trial member and you've not done the new member onboarding, please make sure you catch one. The next one is Tuesday after show and share. Wednesday is October Maker Mingle, which the Maker City Council is, they do those occasionally. This Wednesday, they're going to do it, or this next coming Wednesday, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. They're going to do it, huh? Okay. Well, it's on our calendar, right? I think. I wrote Wednesday because I thought I got off. Anyway, it's on our calendar. The Maker City Council is going to do it here in conjunction with Knox Makers and Spark together. So it's going to be upstairs and downstairs. A lot of social and get together and talk about making. So that's all events in the next couple weeks. There is milling classes coming up. It's not on the calendar yet, but will be what days? Friday and Saturday next week. At the end of the month. So those will be coming soon. They're not quite on the calendar yet, but will be tomorrow, right, Billy? Yep. Yeah, okay. That is all the announcements that I have. So after that, we're just going to go hang out workshop. So that's it.